Good evening, everyone. Just make sure my phone's on silent. Don't want that going off. Welcome to All for England's live stream. It is hot today. Very, very hot. I do apologise for my hair. I look like Hagrid from Harry Potter. But that's what happens when I'm in the heat for too long. It just expands. Has anyone seen that Friends episode with Monica? Have you seen it, Alex? I don't know if you watch Friends.
I don't
Monica
watch Friends.
in Friends, when she goes into the humidity, her hair gets bigger and bigger and bigger until she looks crazy. It's full on afro, and that's me right now. So we've got a good live stream tonight. We're going to be discussing a few topics. We're going to try and get through them quite quickly, though. Like I said, it's hot today. We are melting. I'm too white for the sun. I know this light that's on me doesn't show it. It's making me look a bit orange, but I am too white for the sun. I am too Anglo-Saxon to be in the sun. What happens when I'm in the sun is I set on fire. That's what happens. And I don't fancy setting on fire during this live stream, if I'm honest. But it might happen, or my hair might just get bigger. So are you hot, Alex? It's hotter down where you are, actually.
Yeah, here in Londonistan. Yeah, it's very hot down here. You'd be forgiven for thinking it's Pakistan, really.
Yeah. There's a lot of brown people.
Well, we've got the weather to match the people now, so there you go.
Yeah, perfect. You know, they feel right at home. They feel at home, and we're literally feeling like we want to become climate warriors. So
yeah. I've got my fan going at full blast over here in the corner, so hopefully not everyone can hear that.
Yeah. Can anyone hear my fan, actually? Can you hear my fan, Alex?
I can't hear anything. Yeah. I can't hear your fan over my fan, so...
It's because my fan's crap and I've had to put it on the floor behind me. So God, it's not working that well. So at least it's keeping my dog a bit cooler. That's the main thing. So if my dog does disturb tonight's stream, it's just part and parcel now. Like Sadiq Khan says, part and parcel. So
yeah.
let's just, we're a dog loving. We're a dog loving nation. So it is what it is, you know. And it's the only, I was about to say something. I just stopped myself. I was about to say something that could get me banned from YouTube then. So zip. I'll let you take over, Alex, before I get
No worries. Yeah, we're stalling because the next topic, the first topic of the night, is one we did promise to cover last time. It is inevitably the Clacton by-election, and I use the term loosely. It's a Clacton circus, really, at the end of the day. I mean, it's so depressing to see all this. What is British politics? What is British politics in 2026, Ashley?
It's honestly, it's just, everything is just so embarrassing. And why we're laughing is because if we don't, we'll cry. Like, we've got Clacton now, but we had Makerfield, you know, not so long ago, where Andy Burnham was stood on a stage. He had a Count Binface on one side of him and someone dressed as a fox on the other side of him. Imagine being around the world and looking at British politics, thinking, what? These people had an empire, and now, like, there's a fox and a bin stood on stage. It's just so ludicrous. But this story with Nigel Farage resigning, we all know why he resigned and why he, you know, caused a by-election. It's because of the scandal into his expenses. We know why he's done it, to take the attention off that £5 million gift he received, cash gift, should we say. I'm not against 5 million cash gifts, just for people listening. I'm not against them. But if you want to throw it all for England, we don't mind. But what I am saying, if you are a public servant, if you are a politician, there's standards that you have to uphold. You know, there's rules, there's regulations, there's laws that you have to abide by. You can't just ignore them, you know, because you claim to be anti-establishment, yet you're acting exactly like the establishment. Do you know, I remember Nigel Farage at the time of the Lord Arley scandal. Do you know, he was full of criticisms for that. Do you know, when it was Labour receiving all these free gifts, you know, from this Lord Arley character. So he was full of criticisms for that. But when he gets caught out doing something a bit shifty, should we say, then he resigns, you know, and calls a snap by-election. That's his way of solving things. But as everyone will know, that's backfired massively in a way, because the game he wanted to play, like he said in his broadcast, which, by the way, was very boring. I didn't need that long of a broadcast. You know, you could have just tweeted it. But in that broadcast, he said, it's me, it's us, it's patriotism, it's, you know, it's the alternative against the establishment. And the establishment actually pulled a blinder here and said, well, we're not playing into that game. We're not playing into it. And we're now saying we're not going to stand candidates. So the Labour Party, the Greens, the Lib Dems, the Conservatives, none of them are standing candidates in this by-election because they want Nigel Farage to look like a joke. They want this by-election to look like a joke, which it is. You know, we know why he's called it. He's not called it for the people of Clacton. This is a huge expense as well to the taxpayer, a massive expense. So he's not called it for ordinary people. He's called it for himself to take the heat off him, you know, for the £5 million gift that he received. No one gives £5 million without wanting something in return, let's be honest. Who's got that money to spare without getting something in return? So obviously the mainstream parties have now said we're not standing candidates because we don't want to play a part in this farce by-election. So it is Nigel Farage against Count Binface. Count Binface. That's what British politics has been resigned to. Count Binface. Do you know, this whole by-election, do you know, is just a joke. And I personally believe, and I know you believe the same, Alex, because we've spoken at length about this for a few days, anyone standing in this by-election, it's not a good idea. Do you know, that I'll say it politely, it's not a good idea because you're playing into politics looking like a shit show. Like, sorry for the language, but you're playing into the game that the establishment has created. The establishment didn't want to play Nigel Farage's game that he set up. And now all of you that are planning on standing Clacton against Nigel Farage are playing into that game that the establishment set up. You're all playing a part of it. Do you know, it's moronic. Like, no one should be standing there. No one. Like, if the mainstream parties were standing, fair enough, do you know, it's a fair election. It's one fair candidate against another. But at the moment, if other people stand apart from Count Binface and Nigel Farage, all you're going to do is drive more votes in Count Binface's direction. That's what you're going to do. You're not actually going to help nationalism or patriotism. You're actually going to set it back, because as much as we don't like reform or we don't like Nigel Farage for a multitude of reasons, the public does. So the public as a whole does like him, and the public sees him as the face of the right wing and the face of alternative politics, and the public sees him as a stepping stone to getting rid of the two-party system. So all of these other people choosing stand, whether it's British Democrats, Lawrence Fox, whoever it is, You're actually playing into the establishment's hands by reducing Nigel Farage's vote, and then potentially imagine if we had Count Binface winning, because how the left is in Clacton are going to, come together and vote for Count Binface. That. Whereas the right-wing vote, as much as we know Nigel Farage isn't our strain of right-wing, the right-wing vote will be diluted. Yet Count Binface's vote won't be diluted because the left are all going to work together. Yet we're here not working together, because what's best for the country is best for everyone. And as much as I don't like reform and I don't like Nigel Farage, because he is, he's a coward. He is, he ran away from the Brexit vote before it was delivered. He was introduced with UKIP to crush the BNP. He came back after to the Brexit party, then reformed, once nationalism was on the rise again. So we all know what he is, but Count Binface or Nigel Farage, you need to do what's best in this scenario. And unfortunately, Nigel Farage is the better option in this scenario. It's him or a bin. It's him or a bin. But what these right-wing other groups or parties or whoever's standing is doing is diluting that vote and making even more of a mockery of British politics. We've got to play smart here. We can't play with, we can't play politics with emotions. We can't say, well, he's not right enough for us, or, well, I want it this way. That's not how politics works. It's not an emotional field. You've got to be tactical here and you've got to be smart here. Do not dilute the vote. What do you think, Alex? Because I just went on a rambling there.
No worries. Yeah, it's hard to put into words. It's just the situation. It's just trying to put this situation into words.
Exactly.
I'm going to try and be as polite as possible, but it might be difficult because it's ridiculous on all fronts. And I just want to clear things up here. I am actually not a member of any political party any longer. I have no intention of ever being a member of a political party again. And for those who have been watching this stream since the first episode, you might notice a slight change there. I'll leave you guys at home to fill in the blanks as to why that might be the case. I'm not going to get into it too much, but I'll leave it to you. I'm sure people will be able to figure it out. But yeah, Farage has called this out of ego. He got caught making a huge blunder, not declaring that gift, not declaring the security getting paid for by some friend of his who has like fraud convictions in his past. It's just, he's so worried all these years that it would be the nationalists and the former members of the British National Party and former members of nationalist groups would ruin the reputation of reform because they'd all get called racist in the media. It's quite ironic how the tables have turned, and the man who thinks he knows it all, who's so scared of the media, has made the ultimate blunder for his own party, so much so he had to resign his MP seat in some blatant attempt to gain some control of the narrative back. And it's absolutely embarrassing. And even so much so that the other mainstream parties who I can't stand, the establishment parties who we all hate, can see it clearly for themselves as well. And they've all said, we're not standing in this. And that's a big deal, because the only other times these parties don't stand in by-elections is when an MP dies or because of terrorism, because they're murdered. The Joe Cox and the David Amos, those are the only other by-elections where the mainstream major parties, establishment parties, refuse to stand. This is a first, I think, in British political history. They've completely said this is a total sham. And even when they can make inroads and they can, they could throw candidates in there and play on this Farage expenses scandal situation, but they're not even doing that. It's a gift on a plate to them, and they're not even getting involved in it because they don't want to lower themselves. And that's saying a lot for these establishment parties. You don't get much lower than them. So I'd say to anyone who's standing in this election is doing it for ego, is doing it for attention seeking. Farage is doing it for the ego and attention seeking. He's trying to claim back the narrative from the media, who have treated his family appallingly. I'm never going to justify that. The way they gone after his daughter is absolutely disgusting. And I 100% agree with him on that. That is a complete trash behavior from the media. We don't expect anything less, but they seem to make us feel more disgusted every day with their actions. But regardless of that, we can all see why he's called this election. That bin is nothing more than a liberal failed BBC comedian in a suit. He's no different to John Oliver from America or Russell Howard, all these liberal left comedians on the mainstream TV channels in a bin costume. Okay, so he's doing it for his own career. He's doing it for his own ego. I personally don't find him funny in the slightest. It's just bland, liberal upper middle class comedy that you can find on the BBC or Channel 4 any hour of given hour of the day. It's boring. It's not funny. He's doing it for attention. So I'd say everyone else is standing. It's attention seeking. You really want to get involved in Farage's circus. You want to get the scraps from his little attention seeking campaign. That's what you're doing. At the end of the day, you're the one that's going to look embarrassed. At the end of the day, it's going to look embarrassing for you. I'd say it's embarrassing for anyone else standing. So, but it's your choice. At the end of the day, I'm not having a go at anybody. I have friends in the British Democrats. I've got nothing against them. They're very good people. But this decision, particularly, you've picked the wrong decision here. Quite frankly, that's just my opinion. But yeah, that's that really.
It is a joke of a by-election, though. It's not a serious by-election. It's not like standing in Makerfield. And I've seen the arguments for, but we can get attention from this or media attention from this, but not all attention is good attention. I know people say it is, but it's not. This is a farce of election. This election makes British politics look stupid, immature, and the world can see this. There is a world spotlight on British politics. People do take big interest in what's going on in Britain, and this is what we want to show the world. No, leave it to Farage, leave his circus to himself, let him and Count Binface, war out between themselves, one left candidate, one supposed right candidate, and let them get on with it. Don't play into it. And like Alex said, do you really want the scraps from Farage's circus? We're better than that as nationalists. We're more principled than that. But yeah, you can't, people are going to do what they're going to do, and it's a democracy. But I don't agree with it. And I think it's a complete waste of time. It's a waste of nationalist resources, because people are going to have to donate to all of these campaigns and so forth. And for what? For what? Just to play a part in the circus. It just seems ridiculous.
Yeah. And whether you love or hate Farage or don't have an opinion on Farage, it is what it is. He made a mistake. He's not a godlike figure. He's not perfect by a long shot. No. So whether you like him or you don't, I couldn't really care less about him at this point. I'm a nationalist. I'm only backing nationalists from now on. I'm sick to death of political parties. But it's just, he's doing, again, like I said, he's doing this for his own reasons, and he's probably going to win it by a landslide. I've actually saw a poll today, and apparently the majority of the country have heard of this, but they're not particularly following the issue. And all politicians are corrupt. It's not just Farage. All politicians are corrupt.
So every single one.
It's the logic of it is really, if you're going to get a corrupt winner at the end of the day, no matter who it is. Yeah. Can we at least get, if it's going to be a corrupt guy, I can see the logic in people saying, can it at least be one that says the things we like? That is how low and desperate British politics is. But I can see the logic in people where they say that. I can understand the logic behind people saying back Farage in this election. He may not be as right wing as you guys, but I can understand the logic, but they're all corrupt. So just vote for the corrupt one that says the thing you like. So
100%. The thing is, as much as I don't like reform, the country does, and the one benefit of them is they are the greatest shot now of crushing the two-party system. They are, that we've been stuck with for so long, so, and to be honest, at this point, I'm getting quite like you, Alex, where I don't believe there's a political solution to be had. I wish there was, but it's getting more and more unlikely. So at least have people to crush the two-party system, at least get something that we want, something that we want from this, because we're not going to get everything. We're not.
Well, I think nationalists, we should not see elections as the be-all and end-all. We should see it as a tool in our belt. One thing that we participate in for our own, to further our ideology, to get our message out there, to push things in our direction. And if Voting Farage pushes the public in a more right-wing direction, then fine, so be it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not interested in elections, but for the public at large, just use elections to suit what we need to achieve. Think of it in the long run.
Yeah, I think in the future, the way politics has to go is independent nationalists, completely independent nationalists, not under any party, however big or small that party is. I think it has to be independence. The Muslims are onto a winner there because they saw a gap there and they started standing independence. And now there's so many Muslim MPs because they thought, well, we can get our community support, but maybe the party banner that we wanted to stand on won't get that community support. So they all went independent. And that's what we need to do as nationalists, because no party is going to be what you want it to be. It's not. Whereas if, say, in Parliament, we had 200 independent nationalist MPs, real nationalists, they would vote on the laws and the changes that we need without having that party, having that hold over them, saying, no, you've got to vote this way and you've got to toe the party line. And that's why we're here at All for England. One of the reasons, to help people stand as independent nationalists, because we're not a party. We just want to help you stand. We want to help you with the Electoral Commission, with canvassing, with anything you need. We want to help you with it because we've been there and we've done that. So I definitely think if you're a nationalist and you want to get involved in politics in the future, look into All for England now, take part in our training sessions now, join as a member now and get involved. So when the time comes, whether it's for local council or parliamentary, you are ready, and you're ready to go. But I do think that's the future of politics, because we've seen it with Reform. They let people down, a year or two ago. We've seen it with Restore now. They're letting people down and people have questions about them as well. You're not going to get what you want from a political party. You're just not.
Absolutely. I think that is the way to go. I think, the Islamists were onto something with that. They got independent councillors. They've taken over councillors in their area. They've got independent MPs now. And at the end of the day, that is what an MP election is, because you could vote for someone under a Reform banner and they could leave Reform, but they'd still be an MP. They'd still be your MP. Unless they decided not to be, unless the public got a large petition, a large enough amount of local citizens to sign to replace him. But a lot of the time that doesn't happen. MPs all consistently do that. They leave their party, but they stay an MP. So the election system, whether we like it or not, you are voting for an individual. So you have got to take that into account. So moving forward, I do think, obviously, in the long run, independent nationalists standing is the way forward, and we're happy to help with that. Even if you're a member of a party, just because I don't like political parties on the right in this country, because I think they're all a letdown. Personally, it doesn't mean if you've picked one and you like them, but you want help with learning how to canvass and help learning how to do a successful campaign and so on. Yeah, you can join us and join our training sessions and everything else. And we'll help you. We're not going to tell you where to apply these tools. It's for you to decide. But
that's entirely up to you. Your political affiliations are your political affiliations. They're not ours. We are a completely independent outfit, and we just want all nationalists to succeed, really. So whatever party you're under, if you just want to brush up on skills, so you can be, better for your party, join All for England, get involved, and we can help with that. Like I said on Tuesday's live stream, next week we will be sending an email out to our members announcing the first webinar that we're hosting, the first Zoom webinar. I won't say what subjects it's on, that's for our members. But if you are listening and you are a member of All for England, you will get an email next week explaining the details and how to join in. And I look forward to it. I think this is something we've really been missing in nationalism. People willing to teach the skills and pass on the baton. And, people saying, I want you to fly. It's not about me. It's not about egos. We want you to fly. So I'm quite excited for that.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, you can be a member of as many parties as you want. We'll still help you. It's none of our business. But yeah, exactly. That is exactly what we want to do. It's new, it's fresh, and we're not here to work against anybody, because a lot of people may think new group on the scene, oh, it's here to take members away from this, it's here to take votes away from that. One, we're not standing, so we're not taking votes away from anybody. They can keep their votes. As for members, you can be a member of anything, any nationalist organization or party, and you can come and join us, and you can come to our protests, you can come to our events, you can attend our training sessions, you can join wherever you want, as many things as you want. We do not tell people what to do in that respect, you know.
No, absolutely. No, we're here to help. We're not here, to bark orders at you. We're simply the backbone of it. You can do as you choose. That's your prerogative. I just actually saw a funny comment that I want to say. Someone said, regards canvassing, never put your hand in the letterbox. Never.
Good advice. We'll add that to the webinar. Definitely. That is something to
that is good advice. I've had a few interesting scenarios where I've put my hand in and a dog's been on the other side. Never moved my hand quicker. I have had some nips off dogs. They're quick, and it's usually the small ones, but they manage to get up to that letterbox and like grab your hand. So yeah, that's a good piece of advice from No Name Given. A good piece of advice. Don't put your hand in a letterbox. To be fair, I actually just fold them in half and do it like that. There's a technique, isn't there, Alex? So you don't, because in winter, you can get your hands really scraped in letterboxes, and we've done some, cold weather campaigns, and it really hurts. It can take the skin off your hand. So it's weird that these little tips about even how to put a leaflet in a letterbox. It's crazy.
Absolutely. We're going to move on to our next topic now. I'm just glad to get off this one because I was dreading it. I'm glad it's out of the way. Our next topic is this. There we go. Mohammed, most popular boy's name in England for third straight year. Noah, Leo, and Luca beaten to top spot in list of top 100 names for babies. Now, yeah, I see this every year, and every year it gets worse and worse. There's more and more and more Mohammeds ahead of all the other names in England. Every single year it gets worse.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the third year in a row, and it's not stopping. And it says here they have been the top two since 2023, and the gap was previously like 1,500. But that just goes to show for everyone that doubts demographic replacement, that goes to show it's real, it's happening, and our children are being replaced. So English children are set to become a minority in 10 years. Our children, white English children, are going to be a minority in our own homelands. They're being replaced by Mohammeds, Jamals, all of these different people. They're being replaced by them. And this isn't acceptable. And what makes it worse is we're paying for our own replacement, because these Mohammeds, I think it was something daft that 80% of Muslim women don't work and over 50% of Muslim men don't work, or at least they don't declare that they're working. They've probably all, do Uber deliveries and whatever else. They just don't declare it so they can get more in benefits. So not only are we being replaced in our own homeland, but we're paying for our own replacement, which is outrageous, because these people don't care about playing the system. They don't care about things like that. Whereas our people, decent white English people are working hard, and that's why they can only afford 1 to 2 children, because they can't afford the nursery fees that come when they've got to go back to work. They can't afford that. But if they don't go back to work, they can't afford the mortgage, and there's no social housing to rely on. So they're stuck, and they're stuck in that, in that bracket of, I can only have 1 to 2 children because that's all I can afford, but I'd love to have 2 to 3 children. I'd love to have more. We need incentives for white British people to have more children. They have it in Eastern Europe, in Poland and in Hungary. They have tax breaks for working parents, for people that are having more children. They also have free nursery, free education, different things like that in place to encourage their native people to have more children. That's what we need to do, because it's unfair now, because you're not going to get, I see a lot of Twitter nationalists, like women belong in the kitchen, women should, just go be a baby machine and do all of that. You're not going to get that anymore. Yet there'll be some women that do want to be homemakers, and that's a beautiful thing. It's absolutely beautiful. But women do also want their independence when it comes to work now, and they do want careers because they want to feel satisfied in that way, but they also want to have children, and they shouldn't be penalized for also wanting to feel success in a workplace. And this is why we need these incentives for people to have more children, free nursery for children, because I believe when children get to 3, I think that they do get free nursery, or they get like so many hours free once it gets 3 years old. But by 3 years old, you can't have 3 years off work. That's impossible. But if you do, you can't pay your mortgage, so people are stuck. And we know now people used to be able to survive on one wage, and that was fine. And that covered the whole family. People can't do that anymore because living is expensive. Our utilities are higher than anywhere else in the Western world. Our gas and electric, it's higher than anywhere else. Our living expenses are just too high. So both parents have to work. So we need to give free early years education. We need that, or we need to at least give tax breaks. That will encourage our people to have more children, because I do know women do want to have more children. It's the most natural thing in the world for a woman to have children. Can anyone see my dog in the background biting my arm? But it's the most natural thing in the world to have children, and women would if they could afford it. So I definitely think that's what nationalists need to look into in the days when they do get in power. That's one of the first things they need to address, birth rates. And by doing that, we will have a better situation in this country.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, with the incentives, there definitely needs to be incentives specifically for native people meaning the indigenous English people, the ethnic
100%. The incentives are for natives only. That's it.
Because the problem is we've got a system where it's not equal. There's actually systems and benefits in favor of non-white, non-indigenous, non-native, non-English people because of all this diversity inclusion things. They've been pushed ahead. You see this even with the universities can show this. White working class children are now the lowest university applicants, and in grammar schools they're the lowest because all these other groups are getting a level up. And you get people on the more centre right of things who say, oh, we all need to be equal. But then I say no to that, because why should the native English people be equal to foreign people in their own country? If you go to their country, they put their people first. So when they come here, they should expect the English to be put first in England. So there should be actually laws and incentives that discriminate in favour of English people in England, like every other country with a brain around the world does.
Yeah, I don't see an African family that was either born here or moved here as equal to my family or as equal to the English family down the road from me. I don't see that, because you are a guest in my country. You're not English, you're not British. You might have a passport, but you're not British. You don't share our DNA. You don't share our history. So no, English people, British people, English people need to be the absolute priority at all times. But I do agree there is, a birth rate problem with native people. But that can be addressed, as it is in other countries, Eastern European countries especially. That can be addressed. There is incentive there that can be made. Because if you say if you close all the migrant hotels, you stop immigration, you completely halt immigration, you're saving billions and billions of pounds. Billions. That billions can then be reinvested into the survival and flourishing of our people. By increasing birth rates through incentives like free nursery, free tax breaks, all of these different things. So a lot of these politicians say, well, but we've got a dwindling, population in this country because a lot of our people are elderly. Then let's do something about it. Let's deport the people that don't belong here. Let's save the billions of pounds from that and put it back into white English families to have children. Because I know
Absolutely.
so many people that would love to have more children, but they've got a mortgage and they've got a job and they can't do that because they'll lose the house. And if they did lose the house, say if they was willing to lose the mortgage, there's no social housing there because it's filled up with foreigners. Do you know? So something needs to be done there. There is billions of pounds that can be saved.
Absolutely. That is definitely the point. Yeah. And because I always say this to people, that the native people of England and the native peoples all across Europe, because we're all facing the same thing, they shouldn't have to get into a breeding war and lower their quality of life and try and have 8 kids to match the Islamist families just to catch up. That shouldn't be on them. It's on the
No.
government to remigrate these people. Obviously, this one won't. Hopefully, we will. Hope to high heaven that we will one day get one that will do the right thing, remigrate the people who don't belong here, the third world invading forces that have been shipped in this country for decades, and they all need to go back. I don't care if they were born here or not. I really don't care. If people say that to me, it doesn't fly. Okay, I don't care. I always say a fish born in a barn doesn't make it a horse. Okay, it's a fish. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And we shouldn't have to get in a breeding war. So first things first, remigration is 100% necessary. And then when that is done, it's the job of the government to put our own people first at that point and make it possible for native English families and British families, we're not forgetting about anyone else here, don't worry, to put them first and to allow them the opportunity to have children. That is one of the most beautiful things anyone can do. And that is a right of every family, should be to have as many children as they want and continue our culture, continue our people all across England, Britain, and the whole of Europe. And these are the steps that are required to do so.
Yeah, 100%. Remigration and then focus on our own people. Do you know, white English people do deserve to have more children. And can you imagine a country, do you know, where we walk down the street and we see our own people? And I think of like the England I grew up in when we was all playing, you know, Kirby and stuff like that. And we was all playing out on the streets. And I was speaking to someone about it the other day. We didn't have phones or anything like that. So our mum and dads didn't know when we'd get home. They just knew we were safe to be out. Whereas now, I can't imagine, you know, parents sending the kids out and not checking on them and not wondering where they are and stuff like that, because we've imported so many dangers. We've imported people that think sex with children is acceptable. We've imported people that think, you know, savage killings are acceptable if someone looks at you the wrong way, or not even that. If someone you don't like someone's presence, then it's acceptable to kill them. Do you know, this is what we've imported, and this is why we don't walk down the street and see loads of kids playing out anymore. That's not usual now, because the streets aren't safe for our children, because we've imported absolute savages. So we need to get back to the England that we had, even the England when I was growing up, and I'm not that old, but it was so much better. I grew up in the 90s and it was great. It was absolutely great. But would I want, like, my son's a bit older now, but would I want my nieces playing out how I used to without a phone and not knowing where they are? Absolutely not. 100% not.
Absolutely. Well, that moves us on to our next topic. It's very interesting, this one. A lot of people have been talking about this online. It's the Citizen Vigilante film. I believe this is an independent film that's actually been banned across the whole of German cinemas, because I won't give too much of the plot away. I haven't actually watched it, but I know basically the plot revolves around this citizen vigilante who is in a town that's been destroyed by, you know, culturally and economically. Mass immigration and crimes that come from that have riddled the town, and he takes it upon himself to sort out the criminal elements that are ruining his town. It reminds me a lot of the plot sounds a lot like that Taken film. You know, his daughter gets kidnapped by this Muslim Albanian gang, and this dad goes out on his own to go and fight the people and save his daughter. It's sort of a similar sort of sounding film. It sounds brilliant to me.
Yeah, it sounds brilliant. Someone sent me the link to it the other day. I've not actually watched it yet. But it's shocking that it's banned all over Germany. But doesn't that show the demographic change of Germany, that they've got to ban films like this because it offends certain elements, of their nation now. It's absolutely shocking that a film like this would be banned, but it shows that Germany is suffering massively under demographic replacement. It's not just England, it's not just the UK, it's the whole of Europe that's suffering.
Absolutely. And it just goes to show it's so much like very communistic, isn't it? In the sense that if you portray multiculturalism as anything other than completely successful, completely beautiful, like all these diverse peoples loving each other and mixing together and happily living their lives and skipping down the very clean streets where they all live and love each other, which is complete nonsense. If you actually live in a multicultural area, you'd know. They're dirty, they're disunited, there's no community there. Well, there's no English community or white community there, let's put it that way. It's been totally replaced with a new community. Crime is rife. You see it all the time. But it's very communistic in the sense, if you show the reality of what you're living under, if you even dare to demonstrate what the reality that most people live under, you get banned, completely banned. We can't have anything that shows the truth, anything apart from this rose-tinted glasses view of multiculturalism and multiracialism, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing to me. If you show the reality of it, you're not going to be allowed, and especially in Germany, because we all know that they're scared to death to show anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Germany is literally just being strangled by Islamists, literally. Anyone does something that the Islamists don't want in Germany, and you're expecting a terror attack. That's
Exactly.
just what they've got to look forward to.
And they're riddled with white guilt. They're riddled with white guilt. They're constantly, apologizing and on the back foot and always like, we have to let our country be destroyed because what happened 60 years ago, well, 80 years ago. Oh, okay, let's all just destroy a beautiful culture because you feel guilty. It's absolutely despicable.
The German culture is a beautiful culture, and they're a great people. They're a very inventive people, a very capable people. So impressive. Yet they're allowing the country to be destroyed, like you said, because of this white guilt that they've got, which is insane. And, like Europe wouldn't look the way it looks. The world wouldn't look the way it looks today without, German innovation. It wouldn't. And that comes from a raging English nationalist that likes England to take the credit for everything. But German innovation is unmatched. And the fact they're replacing their own people, like we are in this country with demographic replacement, you also, erase that German excellence that they have that, is unmatched, that people don't have around the world. So it's really, really sad to see.
Absolutely. They've got to get over this white guilt nonsense. If someone, they're so scared of the word racist, scared of the word fascist, it's like, oh, boring. Boring. Haven't we heard enough of this by now? Is this word still affecting people? Like, if someone calls me racist, I say thank you for noticing.
Yeah. if someone calls me racist, I'm like, yeah. Like, why are you telling me things I already know about myself? That's my greatest feature. Like, what you're talking about? Like, this is what I lead with. Like, yes, and what? This is my greatest feature. It's why I'm going to survive. That is why I'm going to survive. Because I am a bit racist. Well, I say a bit. I'm saying that because I'm on YouTube.
A bit.
I know.
You'd win the Oscars if they had a racist category, Ashley.
Well, I did actually beat you on that racism test.
Oh,
so sorry, I had to throw that in there. So Alex has always been like, well, I'm more racist than you. I'm more racist than you. So I'm like, really, Alex? So he found this online racism test, didn't you, Alex? And I beat him by 10 points. So I'm just going to show off about that because I was well impressed. I beat you by 10 points. To be fair, now, because a few years have passed, I think I'd probably beat you about 50 points now. I think it's probably increased.
Oh God, yeah, we might have to retake that. Maybe one day on the live we'll do a live. We'll take the test on the live.
For the live stream, we took a few tests, political tests, me and Alex, and weirdly enough, I beat him by 10 points on every one of them. What was that about, Alex? Why was it always 10 points? Like, it was bizarre.
So
I am very
it's a law of
competitive,
nature,
though.
Ashley. It's a law of nature.
I am very competitive. Just sorry, now my dog's decided he wants my curtains. I am very competitive, so I do, and I do have OCD. Just for everyone in the crowd, and I think that makes me very good at tests. But what we'll do on a live stream, we'll actually do these tests so everyone else at home can see them. Because it'd be quite amusing for people to play along with us and see what they score.
Yeah, that would be
Because
interesting.
your results, Alex, was you was more ideological, wasn't you?
Yes.
You was like very intelligent, more ideological, you know, and I was more like, I just don't like them.
I think that's where your extra 10 points came from. I had all this like, I believe this because of this and this evidence here and this ideological perspective. They're just like, I don't like them. So yeah, that's where your extra 10 points come from, actually.
I think that was it, wasn't it? Like, I was very impressed by my 10 points, though, to be fair.
Well, you deserve it. I just wanted to show this
my
comment
dog I think my dog's
Nina.
having a laugh, right? The whole stream for 45 minutes has been biting my arm like I'm a chopstick, biting my ankles, and now we're towards the end of the stream. It's just gone and lay on the bed behind me. Typical of that. No, we will 100% do that test. We'll do that as a special live stream, maybe next week sometime. We've got a few of those tests, don't we, Alex? I think that will be fun for people to watch at home. Oh, bless. Nina said in the comments, congratulations, Ashlea. Thank you, Nina.
Congratulations.
It's something that I wear proudly.
Absolutely. But yeah, it doesn't end at Germany, because the Muslim Council of Britain are trying to get Ofcom on Elon Musk for promoting the film.
Yeah, madness. Absolute madness. Like, really? First of all, we shouldn't have a Muslim Council of Britain. You belong in the Middle East. Like, why have we got a council here? Have your own councils in the Middle East, you know, in Muslim countries. But the fact they think they can dictate what goes on in England is absolutely atrocious, and it shouldn't be acceptable. Just like we said on the stream, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, we said there shouldn't be a lobbying group called like Reform Friends of Israel, or what they're called.
Yeah,
we shouldn't have Israeli lobbying groups, like ridiculous. We shouldn't have Muslim lobbying groups. Like, what's it got to do with you? This is a Christian country. It always has been. It was founded on Christianity. To me, your opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't. But it's actually quite funny, because it's like an own goal for them, isn't it? Like, because this guy apparently in the film is killing like murderers and rapists and whoever else, and they've got a problem with that. Why have you got a problem with it? Why have you got a problem that they want to kill rapists and murderers? Answer that.
Yeah, if there's a film, I was saying this to you before when I saw this article, if there's a film where someone is going after white rapists and murderers and killing them in a film, I'm not going to go complaining about that. I don't care. They're a rapist and a murderer. They deserve the worst possible ending, But here we have the Muslim Council of Britain complaining that murderers and criminals in a film, mind you, this is a film. This is a film, yeah, actors. I don't know if maybe the Muslim Council of Britain's IQ might be a bit on the low side. Maybe they need to explain that this is not live footage, yeah, Muslim Council of Britain. This is a film. It's called a film. It's fictional, yeah, okay. Can we just let them know that? I don't know if none of them are going to be watching this, I don't think. But if they want to report this stream to Ofcom, hopefully they can see this. It's a film. Yeah. I don't think they know.
Explain it in toddler terms, Alex. I think they need that kind of explanation. Toddler terms.
It's absolutely insane. I mean, crazy. And it goes. It just any group in this country, any foreign group, any foreign religious lobby or ethnic or national lobby, foreign ones, just shut up, just shut your mouth, pack up and go home. What makes you think you can dictate anything that goes on in this country? What makes you think you can dictate what people in this country watch or what they say or what they draw? This is what it's gone to such a ridiculous level. I don't care if it's the Muslim Council of Britain, if it's the Jewish Board of Deputies, if the Hindu version or the Sikh version or the whatever other version. This country, whether you like it or not, is rooted and intertwined in Christianity. Okay.
Yeah.
And before that, it was like native forms of paganism that practically don't really exist anymore. Okay. So unless you're a follower of that, or a Christian, or someone who may not be a believer, who but respects the cultural Christian heritage of this country, if you're not any of those, shut the hell up. I had to stop myself there.
Had to censor yourself, self-censor.
Well,
No, I
self-censored.
100% agree. It's got nothing to do with the Muslim Council of Britain, what we choose to do in our country. Absolutely nothing. If you're a foreign lobbying group, you don't belong in this country. Do you know you belong in your own countries? Do you know, deal with the problems you have there because you have enough of them? Do you know, we're not your problem.
Exactly. If you want to ban this film in Pakistan, fine, go ahead. I really don't care. Go, Muslim Council of Britain, pack your bags, go to Pakistan or Iran or wherever the hell you want to go, and lobby to ban citizen vigilante in those countries. Okay, and maybe you should focus on like the child marriage shit over there first. But if this is your priority, okay, go for it. You know, just go over there and do it.
Yeah. 100%. They've got enough of their own problems. Do you know, like dressing up those Afghan boys and getting them to twerk for them? I think you've got enough problems, do you know?
Yeah,
So maybe
well, they've
leave
got more of
us
an issue with
adults,
this film, so
leave us civilized Christians, do you know, to our own nation.
absolutely. We are going to move on to the last subject of tonight. I'm going to let you take the lead on this one, Ashley, because you were very excited to announce what's going to be taking place. It's going to be to do with HMOs, the illegal migrant HMOs.
Yeah, absolutely. So I live in Salford, and Salford has always been a very white working class area, very white English. It's been like that my whole life, and that's why, you know, so many people are nationalists in Salford, so many people are patriotic because we love where we live. And we've never had a migrant hotel in Salford. That's something we've always been proud of. When there was a proposed migrant hotel, like this, I know this hotel got a talking to off the community, and they didn't turn it into a hotel after that. Do you know, they got a stiff word off the community telling them, you know, absolutely not in our area. So since then, what's happened in Salford is lots of HMOs have been opening up across the board, lots of illegal migrant HMOs. These aren't HMOs for uni students. They're not HMOs for working people. They're HMOs for illegal immigrants. And I've seen it with my own eyes. And I've spoken to so many people across Salford that also have them in their areas, in their streets, you know, in their towns and so forth. And people are furious because where these HMOs are, they're next to family homes, you know, so children can be playing out in the back garden, maybe in the paddling pool, you know, as children do when they play in the paddling pool. Often they've got nothing on because they're in their own garden, so who cares? But people should care now because you've got an illegal migrant HMO practically next door. Do you know, people can look out the windows and see whatever's going on in people's gardens, and that is a scary, scary thought. And we don't know who these people are. These are unvetted people. These are illegal people. These are people that came over on a boat and threw their documents in the sea. And there's a reason why they don't want you knowing who they are. So this outrageous that this is happening in communities, that they're emptying the hotels but putting them right on our doorsteps. And I've noticed where I live, traditionally a very white working class place, I see it all the time because I'm out like 3 times a day with the dog, and I'm seeing illegals everywhere. And you can tell when they're illegal, you know, when they're a boat person. Do you know, there's so many obvious factors when they're a boat person. And I walked on the green with the dog the other day, and I put on my WhatsApp story, and I just walked on the green with the dog, and there's like a bushy area on the green where there's 2 big bushes and there's a rock in between it, and it's quite like hid away, and there was an illegal migrant there. And I thought, what are you doing? Because you're not sat on a bench. Do you know, you're not sat somewhere where it's obvious where you are. It seems like you hid away to me. And what reason do people have to hide away? Do you know, nefarious reasons? And I wasn't happy about that situation. So we at All for England are launching a new campaign, a No to Illegal Migrant HMO campaign. And this campaign is great because it's a never-ending campaign. We can do this everywhere. And we really, really want to try and make a difference in small areas, in towns and villages. And we really want to say to, you know, our people that we stand with you. We don't think this is acceptable, but we're going to do something about it. Obviously, there's a lot more to this campaign that I'm not saying yet that we are going to be doing, because we're launching this officially next week. So there's a lot going into this, and we're going to take this campaign everywhere. This isn't just going to be, where we are. And if you're a member of All for England and you want to do this campaign in your area, wherever you live in the country, we will equip you with the tools to do that. And you can also do it if you've got HMOs in your area that are causing a problem. Because there's a HMO near me that they're thinking, the primary school that I actually went to, and all my family's children have gone to, they're trying to put an 8-bed HMO right next to that primary school. And that is disgusting. It's a primary school. Do you know that's a primary school I went to, like, however, 30 years ago? That's the primary school my son went to. And I would never have dropped my kids off or dropped my nieces off there if I knew there was a HMO next door. Absolutely not. So we're launching that campaign next week. But in the meantime, I was asked by a very good patriot to speak at a local protest this Saturday. So this local protest is taking part in Haywood. Haywood's a great patriotic town. I spent a lot of time there as a child because my uncle lived in Haywood. Very good English town. And they're doing a protest because there's a proposed HMO there, also next to a children's primary school. So the community is coming together and saying, absolutely not. Our children deserve safety. Our children should be safe when they go to school. And our children should be safe to walk home from school as well, without the threat of predators. So the organizer, Jamie, has asked me to speak. He's been to a few protests in the past that I've spoken at. So I said, yeah, absolutely. This is something I care about. We're about to launch our own HMO campaign. So I'm going to attend this protest on Saturday. I'm going to speak to the patriots there, speak to the residents there. And I'm also going to say to everyone in the area, if you do need our help, we are here. Because this is not what we want. We want the children of Haywood and the children of England to be safe. That's the least they deserve, in this country of ours. And this is what we've got to do as nationalists, stand up for our people, So if you are in the northwest of England or even a tiny bit further afield, on this Saturday at 2 p.m. in Haywood, there's a protest. It's going to be brilliant, I believe. The Restore candidate for the Manchester mayoral election is Marlon West, is it called? He is also speaking at this event. Billy from PAG UK is also speaking at this event. There's a few other people that are speaking at this event. I'm not the organizer, so I don't have all the information, but I do have the time and location. So Haywood, 2 p.m. It's going to be a good event. I've spoken in depth to the organizer. And he seems like a stand-up guy. He's a fellow Christian as well, which I think is so important. So it's going to be a great day for patriots, and it's good that we're coming together for a very localized issue as opposed to, a national issue. As much as this is happening across the nation, it's directly affecting people in their own hometowns. It's directing people in their front gardens because they can see, a HMO across the road, and it's not acceptable. It's absolutely not acceptable. And this is where patriots have to stand up and be counted and do something about it. So it all starts on Saturday. I'm excited to give a speech on Saturday. I'm excited to meet all of the patriots in Haywood. This is the organizer that's just popped up on screen, Jamie Thomason. 2 p.m. Haywood Memorial Gardens. If you're a patriot, be there, attend, and support local patriots. It's very important that we tackle these issues head on. And Saturday's set to be great weather as well. So attend, and I'm looking forward to meeting you all. I'm looking forward to meeting more Northern patriots.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, it's a very important campaign. If any of you watching, whether live or on the replay, have any evidence of HMO in your area, please do send it in to us on our website. You can email us. If you have emailed us already, we promise we will get back to you shortly. We've been very busy organizing this campaign behind the scenes, so we will get back to you. So yeah, send those in if you have evidence of HMOs. Yeah, and this is going to be an absolutely fantastic campaign. We're going to take it far and wide.
Absolutely. Like Alex said, if you have information on any HMOs in your area, or you want help to get started launching a No to HMO campaign in your area, go to our website, allforengland.org. Send us a message on the website and we'll respond to you, because this is the next big thing to affect our people. Like, they are planning on closing down all of these migrant hotels. So these illegals will be in all of your areas. If they're not today, they will be in a few months' time, so it's time to act now. But like I said, Haywood, Saturday, Memorial Gardens at 2 p.m. Be there. Oh, I think my dog's had enough of my stream. I won't be bringing the dog to Haywood because of that barking. But yeah, be there and support local patriots. It'd be a good day out as well. It'd be good to socialize with other like-minded people.
Absolutely. Well, that's all we have for tonight. So I want to thank everyone for being here, watching us live. Thank you to everyone watching on replay in the future. And is there anything you'd like to add, Ashley, before we finish up?
I just want to say thank you to everyone that's watching it live, and like you said, on the replay. Thank you for everyone that wants to get involved with All for England. If you've liked this stream and you're interested in what we're doing, head to allforengland.org, join up as a member, take part in our webinars, or sign up for email updates and keep in the know of what we're doing, because we've got so much coming up. But join as a member, sign up for email updates, and take part in something, that's greater than ourselves, something for our glorious nation. So, and thank you everyone for being patient with my dog barking and being crazy in the background. Like, he is a menace. And God bless England. God bless you all. God bless patriotism. And let's take our country back. Jesus
Absolutely.
is King. So,
good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.